How do you decide what new areas of business to get into?
There are a few things that we think about when we get into new business. First of all, we want to know if it's successful, can it be meaningful in the context of Amazon's overall business? It doesn't have to be successful. That's okay. We don't need it. We don't want any guarantees that the business is going to be successful before we get into it.
So it was reported this morning that Amazon will soon display a little number next to the price of each product that shows how much the Trump tariffs are adding to the cost of each product. So isn't that a perfect crystal clear demonstration that it's the American consumer and not China who is going to have to pay for these policies?
I will take this since I just got off the phone with the president about Amazon's announcement. This is a hostile and political act by...
Think Jeff Bezos was just kicking back in space? Think again. The Amazon founder just fired a major shot at Donald Trump. And this one hits where it hurts. Tariffs. Forget rocket launches. This move is next level. Bezos is finally clapping back, and it's shaking things up in a big way. Is he trying to make Trump's tax policies look like child's play? You bet. Stick around. We're diving into the chaos Bezos just unleashed. And trust me, you won't want to miss how this battle unfolds.
Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise because, as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American. It's another reason why we are onshoring critical supply chains here at home to shore up our own critical supply chain and boost our own manufacturing.
Before we go any further, smash that like button and hit subscribe because you're not going to want to miss this. Let's get one thing straight. Jeff Bezos isn't here to sell you a book. He's been there, done that, and now he's on to far bigger things, like throwing serious shade at Donald Trump. And yes, even Elon Musk might be watching from his rocket with a raised eyebrow. Bezos, the mastermind behind your online shopping addiction and the guy who turned two-day delivery into an expectation, is officially stepping into the political ring. His target? Trump's messy, job-killing tariffs. And make no mistake, this isn't some casual jab. Bezos just took the gloves off. Watching this unfold is like seeing a chess grandmaster take on someone who still thinks checkers is high strategy. And spoiler alert, it's not looking good for Trump.
That there is a role for significant tariff revenue in U.S. fiscal policy.
I think that it is something that got put away a long time ago, and I think that tariffs will bring back American manufacturing and generate substantial revenue.
Now, before we dive headfirst into Bezos' tariff showdown with you-know-who, let's take a quick detour, because we need to talk about Pam Bondi. Nothing says serious political strategy quite like Pam Bondi, the former Florida attorney. General turned full-time Trump hype woman. Her qualifications for high-stakes politics? At best, a mystery. At worst, a running joke. She's like political Teflon, always showing up when Trump needs someone to deflect blame or spin a scandal into someone else's problem. And yet, despite all that practice, she still struggles to explain even the basics, like what a tariff actually is. But hey, she keeps saying, I don't know. And according to Trump, that's good enough. So here we are.
For the next few weeks, many of them have already come to Washington. What President Trump is referring to is the ability for tariff revenue to give income tax relief. And I think there's a very good chance that we will see this in the upcoming tax bill. The president campaigned on no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, and the restoring interest deductibility for autos, for American-made autos. So tariff income could be used for tax relief on all those immediately.
I mean, how does this even work? Does Trump have a staff whose sole job is to deflect blame faster than a Roomba on overdrive in a glass factory? Is there a loyalty over logic bonus written into their contracts? At this point, it's like he's auditioning his entire legal team for the next season of The Apprentice Gaslight Edition. Because they're definitely not behaving like real professionals.
We've seen some pretty grisly surveys this month from the Philly Fed, which saw the biggest drop since May of 2020, and the Dallas Fed, similar plunging outlook, poor shipping orders. What are American manufacturers not understanding about your push for onshoring in the U.S.?
Well, I think I was in the investment business 35 years, and I learned to ignore the survey data and look at the actual data, and the actual data has been quite good. The job data is good. Americans keep spending.
So back to Bezos. Oh yeah, Jeff Bezos is officially in challenger mode, and Trump's in his sights. While Trump's busy waging imaginary wars and ranting about tariffs, Bezos is making actual power moves. Taxes, tariffs, chaos. Bezos doesn't just sit on the sidelines. He steps in like, oh, you want to mess with trade? Cool, watch this.
Lowest regulation, lowest energy costs of anywhere in the world. And if you do business in the United States, you won't pay a tariff, you won't pay a price. That's not just good for companies around the world, but it's good for the American worker. That's what this team is focused so hard on every day. We have work to do. The golden age of America is underway. But as I pointed out in the beginning, there's a lot of reason for the American consumer, the American CEO, the American small business owner to be confident and optimistic.
Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. People are over it. And by it, I mean Trump's endless game of monopoly with the US economy. Tariffs? Please. Everyone's exhausted. You know it, I know it, and the economy definitely knows. Americans are tired, businesses are drained, farmers, beyond done. Nobody's out here grinning while handing over their life savings for overpriced imported steel just so Trump can prove a point. Honestly, tariffs might be the most boring way to wreck the average American's wallet. And yet, here we are. But here's the twist. Jeff Bezos, second only to Elon Musk in the billionaire space race, has zero interest in playing along. Nope. Bezos has decided he's the one who's going to break the cycle. If anyone can clap back at Trump's tariff tantrums, it's the guy who basically runs online retail and shipping. Bezos is in the perfect position to say, you want tariffs? You want to tax everything that moves? Cool. I'll flood the market with Amazon deliveries so fast you won't know what hit you.
Airline said, we have these incredible commitments to bring manufacturing back on shore with record investment by domestic corporations and foreigners who want to come into the U.S.
Picture this. Jeff Bezos sitting atop a mountain of cash, casually flipping Trump the bird and saying, your tariffs are adorable. Now let's see how your economy holds up when I start playing with your supply chain. And honestly, who's better positioned to throw a wrench into Trump's plans than Bezos? The man already has half the country anxiously refreshing tracking pages for their next day deliveries. That kind of control makes him a serious economic force. You want to make America great again? How about starting with not broke? Meanwhile, as Bezos steps boldly into the political arena, Trump's response is exactly what you'd expect. Tantrums, finger-pointing, and blaming literally anyone but himself.
As you know, which we talked about, and the president continues to be engaged with his fellow leaders around the world in the European Union. You've seen many of them visit the White House. I want to harp on, in closing, the point the secretary just made. On the campaign trail, the president promised the American public that he was going to make America the best country in the world to do business.
When things go south, Trump's go-to move is straight out of the Pocahontas playbook, lobbing childish insults and blame like a 5-year-old chucking blocks mid-tantrum. But here's the thing, Bezos doesn't need to stoop to that level. While Trump's melting down over tariffs, Bezos is chilling in his Amazon cloud, probably wondering if politician should be his next title. And what does this all mean for Trump? The tariffs? A joke. The economy? Getting smacked around by Bezos. The only thing Trump's managing to do is confuse his base, or tick them off entirely. Meanwhile, Bezos just keeps making moves. Power moves. Every Amazon delivery, every Prime box that lands on a doorstep, isn't just convenience, it's a quiet flex. A reminder that the man behind the curtain might just have the influence to put Trump in check.
I wouldn't think that we would have supply chain shocks, and I think retailers, they have managed their inventory in front of this. You know, I speak to dozens of companies, sometimes daily, but definitely weekly, and they know that President Trump is committed to fair trade and have planned.
Let's talk about the obvious. Amazon is a beast, a full-blown economic titan. It doesn't need to beat Trump. It already has. You think Jeff Bezos is making shipping decisions based on Trump's latest tantrum? Please. Bezos is probably sending out packages with a sly grin, knowing full well the economy listens to him more than the White House. As Trump's tariffs spiral into absurdity, Bezos has the power to subtly shift prices, making every day goods more expensive without even blinking. And it's not just business, it's a message. You want to politicize the economy? Cool, watch me work. I'll raise prices so smoothly people won't even realize what hit them.
So it was reported today that Amazon was going to start showing tariff charges on all the products they sell on the website, sort of in a form of like a tax underneath the total price, until the White House had like an emergency press conference and absolutely went nuclear on Jeff Bezos and the entire company of Amazon. I mean, Caroline Leavitt literally called Jeff Bezos a Chinese propagandist and said that this is a hostile and political...
While Trump stomps around like an angry toddler wrecking his own sandcastle, Bezos is out here playing the long game, dropping not-so-subtle signals with every shipment. Tariffs? Please. Trump's idea of global trade is as outdated as the flip phone he used in his old campaign ads. Bezos is all about innovation, market control, and actual influence. And the best part? He's not just rich. He's rich in a way that shapes reality. He can dictate where you shop, when you shop, and exactly how much you're willing to pay.
We're playing to a different audience, so I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty again of who's talking to whom. But as I said, I believe for the Chinese, these tariffs are unsustainable.
Jeff Bezos isn't just playing the game. He's rewriting the rules. Tariffs? Please. Trump is way out of his league and Bezos knows it. The message is simple. If you want to play with the big boys, you better be ready for a real fight. Bezos? He's already in the ring. And here's the kicker. Trump's so wrapped up in his so-called trade war that he's driving entire industries into the ground. He's hunting for excuses to slap taxes on essential goods, soybeans, steel, you name.
Chinese continue to say that the U.S. and China are not engaged in any consultation or negotiation on tariffs. You recently said you've talked to your counterpart, but more about, quote, traditional things like financial stability. So can you clarify, is the administration talking to Beijing specifically about tariffs or not?
Well, we're not going to talk about who's talking to whom, but I think that, over time we will see that the Chinese tariffs are unsustainable for China.
While Trump is out there making himself the poster child for economic chaos, Bezos is quietly running the show behind the scenes. You've got to hand it to him. Bezos is playing the long game and he's doing it effortlessly. No sweat, no drama. While Trump's busy trying to get the media to care about his latest tariff disaster, Bezos is positioning Amazon to dominate global trade. Take Amazon Prime Day, for example. The entire economy practically shuts down for it.
Some very large numbers over the past few days to show if these numbers stay on, Chinese could lose 10 million jobs very quickly, and even if there is a drop in the tariffs, that they could lose 5 million jobs. So remember that we are the deficit country. They sell almost 5 times more goods to us than we sell to them. So the onus will be on them to the...
But here's the thing. Bezos doesn't need to fix anything. He already owns the game. By the time Trump realizes tariffs are about as useful as slapping a Band-Aid on a bullet wound, Bezos will have cornered the market on anything you could buy, ever want. He's made it impossible to escape him. Go ahead, try to buy something that's not on Amazon. I dare you. It's 2025 and people are literally subscribing to Amazon for everything. Groceries, gadgets, diapers, toilet paper. Heck.
Trump also reportedly called Bezos right away and said well, I don't think I can repeat on the radio what I'm sure Trump said. I'm sure Trump was not happy about this. And Caroline Leavitt also came out this morning and said this is a hostile political act if that happens. And guess what? Amazon has said, no, we would never dream of such a thing. Well, Clay, if they hadn't gotten out there right away, the story all day would be, oh my gosh, Amazon, the tariffs, blah, blah, blah. They go right after it and don't allow these things to be on
Takeaway. Jeff Bezos is a serious challenger to Trump in ways the former president never saw coming. Forget power suits and boardroom drama. Bezos is making moves in the most quiet, efficient way possible. His business model is rapidly outpacing Trump's outdated methods. And let's be real, tariffs? They're yesterday's news. Bezos is running the future of global trade. If Trump keeps up with his antics, he'll be nothing more than a relic in this battle of the richest men. Bezos is playing for keeps, while Trump, he's still stuck trying to figure out how to build a wall made of tariffs. Good luck with that, Donald.